Welcome to Microeconomics here at Newberry College. Now, this video, it's going to be short. I'm just going to walk you through a little bit of the introduction, what to expect out of the course, and walk you through some of the technology that we'll be using. So, microeconomics, we're looking at the small picture of things versus macro, the big picture, and specifically we'll look at firms and consumers, really, the demand supply side. Now, I wanted to show you your wolf den. I've spent a lot of time organizing your coursework into different categories of things. Spent a lot of time looking at the deadlines. I will say this: I absolutely do not accept late work. So just please keep that in mind and make sure that everything you turn in is on time. Now, some of these things like projects, you're going to have several projects, but they'll be sort of loaded towards the beginning of the class period. If I go look over here, so it's beginning of the semester, sorry. So the semester is divided up into the demand side of the market. The supply side of the market will come later. On the demand side, we're going to have all of our labs. So the labs will be on the front end of the semester. So do not miss these because there's no second chance if you miss these going forward. You'll get 3 of them in total. The labs are worth about 20% of your grade, I believe. Look at the syllabus for exact. I believe it's 20 now. I might change it, but just look at your syllabus. They're heavily weighted. That's 2 grades. 20%. So, if you miss these and you got 100% on everything else, the best you could get would be an 80%, which is a big chunk. So don't miss the labs. They're purposefully, I created these labs in order to give you a hands-on experience doing data. So there's going to be a couple different technologies that we're going to use for data. One of them is going to be Tableau. So Tableau is actually a pretty cool little drag and drop, analytical software that I think is definitely within all of your reaches. I think about it like Excel on steroids. Now, I'll be teaching you Tableau. One of the first things you need to do is actually go and get a Tableau account. So in Tableau, you'll need to go and register for Tableau and get a student account. It's free. That's awesome. Right now, actually, because you're a student, you get to have all this for free, and they'll start charging you once you get out of school. So I'm pushing you to introduce you to this new software that's actually being used by a lot of businesses, give you some skills using it, and also opening up your eyes to see that there's also, hey, guess what? There's free software, but there's also free training for you guys online. If you want to take this off and really become more professional with it, you can do this, and I'm here to introduce that to you. So that's going to be going on. That actually, we'll see Tableau probably in the, just so you know, when we're actually doing demand forecasting. I will be using Google Colab for Project 2. There's some videos about how to set Google Colab up. And then the first project that we'll do actually will just be in Excel. Okay, so after we finish up our labs throughout the first semester, this is all the data science side of things, give you that data science. I want you to know you got a real special course here at Newberry College because I'm not aware of any microeconomics introductory course that gives you this kind of hand-on experience. And actually the coolest thing about microeconomics is that it is something you can do in just about any business context. Super cool, super fun stuff. The standard textbooks, you wouldn't even get any of this. I baked a lot of this stuff together just for your benefit. So after we come back from break, that's on the demand side of the market. We'll start looking at the supply side. Now, I'll warn you about something. Your textbook and most microeconomics coursework is very theoretical in nature. So the first half is applied, which is statistical. The second part is theoretical. Now, theory is typically mathematical theory, which if you want to think about it, just think about some really crazy equations. But fortunately, we're going to be doing all of the modeling in graphs. But I have to tell you, it's going to be graphical. Okay, so there'll be graphical table kind of numeric kind of exercises, but they're mostly on the theory side. So that's going to be pretty much the second half will be on the supply side in theory, and then modeling these things together. That's pretty much the course. We got a couple of outliers at the end. There's I threw in some work in oligopoly. Uh, traditionally, actually, that game theory down here, just talking about oligopoly. I've done some kind of fun things with that to show you how game theory can be applied to concepts that are pretty cool and abstract. You might not think economists would consider these kind of concepts, such as, you can look at the evolution of trust. Generally speaking, we'll be looking at evolutionary game theory, which is just looking at how different strategies evolve in a group over time. And that's kind of interesting, because you can start thinking about how that might relate actually more to like organizational behavior, or those kind of different types of managerial kind of topics like that. So I think it's super interesting and gives you a little breadth. So I've cooked up what I think is a fairly interesting course. I think I put it in a reach that is definitely within your reach. The things that you must do right here today are going to be: one, go register for that student account in Tableau. Do not wait. Number two, you're going to need to get the book. So these chapters, you'll see I've written down chapters and dates for just about everything. These chapters correspond to Pearson. Now, Pearson is what you're going to be actually doing your homework portions of your coursework in. So there'll be homework, there'll be labs, and there's going to be tests and other things like this, and participation. So as far as your homework and your homework and exams will be done in Pearson. And let me just see if I can find this for you. It's in one of these tabs up here. Is this it? No, it's not. So you know what I'm going to have to do? I'm going to have to open up a new tab. Let's go to Pearson, My Lab, and just open it up. I put instructions for you how to get this in, how to actually get the book. All the instructions are in your syllabus. Pearson has an e-text, which is very helpful. I also have a video about how to read that e-text. Under your assignments, I need to manage my view and actually look at it from my perspective. Your assignments, you've got your homeworks and your exams. I have not put your exams in to activate, but actually you have access to all of your homeworks right now. So you can theoretically complete all of your homeworks whenever you want. They're sitting there for you. And I've let that just, they have due dates. You can obviously complete them before the due dates and jump ahead, and that's perfectly acceptable. So go get Pearson and get logged in. I will tell you, let's see here. I'll go back to the syllabus real quick. Go back to the syllabus. By the 6th of February, I expect everyone to have their book. And if you don't, I'm going to administratively withdraw you from this class. No exceptions unless you come talk to me. There are, in rare cases, sometimes I understand people simply cannot afford a book. I have to tell you this, though. I have not seen anybody pass this class without a book. I've made accommodations for people to take exams in paper, to do their homework in paper rather than pay for a book. And I've had this happen every semester, where some people want to do this. Sometimes it's out of necessity. Sometimes people just want to think they can skirt by and not get the book. And I have to tell you, I've never seen a single person get above a D, which is not passing for business, by taking that strategy. So I'm not saying it's not possible. It just takes a lot more dedication than somebody who goes through Pearson. Pearson actually has some really cool things that you'll see. First off, in Pearson, you're going to get a lot of feedback instantly. There's the book, there's other resources, there's flashcards, there's all kinds of different learning tools. I can give you practice assignments, practice exams, really, for the midterm, for the final, practice exams that will help you to prepare, and you'll get immediate feedback. Versus, if you don't have it, you can study, you can come to my office hours. People typically don't. I'm just saying, reality check. So I'll leave it up to you. Get the book or talk to me by February 6th, though, in order to stay in this class. That's the condition. Second thing we got to say, let's see, we got the Pearson part. Oh yes, finally, I'd like to say we've got discussions. So you will see that I put discussions. They are in your coursework. So under coursework, I can just click coursework and from Wolfden, and you can go to your discussions. Discussions are each week. There is both an initial post date and then there's a final date. So you see your initial posts are due in this case by the 3rd, but everything closes by the 5th. Why? Because you have to also, so in order to get credit for these discussions, you have to make a post of 100 words or more and a reply to at least one person of 30 words. And I'm also quality weighting some of those. So if, keep it on topic, make them thoughtful. You don't need to think about writing obviously like a huge paper. 100 words is like a well-formed paragraph. So just think about it like that, 4 or 5 sentences, something like this. For a post, and then you can also use Microsoft Word, and do a word count if you have any question about how many words you're at. But I put some discussion forum topics for each week that will count for percentage of your final grade. So keep an eye on those. The one thing I will say also, finally, I'll just wrap it up. And I know it's a complaint that some of you are going to have. I'm sure I'll see it written in some evaluations at the end of the course. And I have to say that I'm fully aware of this, and that's that I do understand that it is challenging to have Wolfden and also Pearson. In other words, challenging to have two systems that are not necessarily communicating back and forth very well. I've done the best I can to try to integrate these two, but they're technologically not compatible. It's just very difficult. I wanted to give you access to a good learning management tool in Pearson, and unfortunately, I just cannot get the thing to fit into Wolfden. So you have to actually go into the Pearson website to do your homework. I've put your homework deadlines here in Wolfden so that you can at least be prompted. You'll see homework 1. Anything with a HW is your Pearson assignment. So homework 1, that's prompting you to show you, hey, you got to go to Pearson and finish that. Unfortunately, you can't just click here and finish it. That's the unfortunate part. And unfortunately, too, the grades don't just pull over into Wolfden. And so I'm sure I'm going to hear back from people about this. I'm going to try my best to get the grades updated in here. It's a lot of people, a lot of grades, but I'm going to try to just push them in as fast as I can. I know people are kind of concerned about their grades. There are a lot of people who work for the grade. I will say this, though. Work for something a little bit higher than just a grade in this class. I really do hope that you see that the value of what I've made for you, and it's really applicable to so many things. It's going to increase, if you take this course seriously, you're going to increase your business acumen. You're going to become just more insightful. And no matter which kind of business that you actually end up going into, microeconomics has something to say about it. So take the value away from this. I hope you do. And I hope that you're in this class because you're genuinely interested in business, generally interested in how are prices determined, what would be the right price, how should I give a discount, should I not give a discount, how do I build cooperation into my organization, these kind of questions. I hope that those kind of fascinate you a little bit. It'll make your job easier as a student, and also make you better just in terms of a business person if you do have interest in this way. And I hope that you do, because part of what we have in Newberry College is we're trying to get you to find your vocation. So I really hope that the business is the right place for you. With that said, I'm also an advisor, and I advise a lot of business students, some of which they just pick the major because they're not sure exactly where to go. So if that's you and you're just taking business because you're not so sure about what you really want to do, what really gets you passionate, then I'd say do a little more soul searching. Really find what really drives you, because when you find what drives you, then whatever you do, whatever you choose to do, it's going to be something that you put your heart into, and whatever you put your heart into, I'm sure you'll be successful at. So just remember those words and go forward, and we will I guess hopefully chat. My door is always open. This is an asynchronous class, so um, my door is always open, and you can always come into office hour, talk to me anytime. The best way, I will say one last thing. I'm a little bit old school, so the best way to reach me is probably just by walking in my office, looking at my office hours and walking right in. That's probably the best way to get me if you have something that you need to reach me with. And I'm at Newberry College 4 days a week, pretty much like very long days, those 4 days too. So you can reach me at all different times. Anyway, that's longer than I was hoping for this introduction. I'm going to keep the rest of the videos and the rest of the talks shorter. I will tell you that. We just, I guess, had a lot to talk about just in getting started. So wish you all the best. Remember, your success a lot of times depends on how you start. So start this semester with a strong foot. Do not get behind. It is way harder to play from behind than it is to jump ahead in these first couple of weeks and then just stay ahead through the semester. I tell you, if you do that second way, you're going to really be knocking it out of the park. And that's just generally speaking academics and life, I think, in general. When they say early bird gets the worm, blah, 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 blah. I talk forever about this. You got the point. I hope you do. And I wish you the best success. Please talk to me early if you run into any issues. The worst thing I hate, and I really despise it, not because I'm mad at the students, just because it's so tragic, is when students, they fall behind and then they just check out. And then there's like all of a sudden this big mass of empty grades that cannot be salvageable, and it becomes very difficult situations. And unfortunately, I see people there. I don't think that might be you. Probably won't be. And in fact, if you take my advice and stay ahead and get ahead, come ask for help, that definitely won't be you. In fact, you're going to sail through it. You're going to do great as long as you just keep on the plan. And if you ever have questions, come find me. Anyway, wish you the best and welcome to the class. And I look forward to working with you.